Hey folks, Eddie from Totally Wired Guitars here, and today we are going to be talking about the Brandonwound Noiseless Jazzmaster pickups. Now, here's a sound that I'm sure most Jazzmaster players are going to be familiar with. When you're in the middle position, things are, for the most part, and that's the standby sound of the amp, but for the most part, if you're in the middle position, it's pretty quiet, pretty clean, that nice, sparkly, glassy middle position tone. But then, depending on whether or not you consider this to be a problem, when we switch to our bridge or neck only position, we are greeted with a very familiar sound. Oh, do you hear it? I'm sure you can. How can you not? The neck only, oh yes, there it is, our familiar friend, 60 cycle hum. Now 60 cycle hum basically happens on all true single coil pickups. It is what comes in your stock Jazzmaster, Jaguar, Telecaster, Stratocaster, even P90s, and a plethora of other, iconic and legendary single coils out there. Some more noisy than others, and the Jazzmaster pickups tends to be incredibly noisy when you have either neck or bridge pickup only selected. Now, depending on your own tolerance for this particular noise, it could be not a problem at all. Maybe you play in a band that uses a ton of distortion and overdrive and is overall just very noisy, and you lean into that. But if you're someone who likes a neck only position or a bridge only position and you want that to actually be clean, then yes, whether it be for live performances or recording, that could be a very big issue. And while they've gotten better over the years, the problem with many noiseless pickups is that they lose the character and the sparkle of the original single coil pickups that they are essentially emulating or making a recreation of. Now, enter Brandonwound Noiseless pickups. These pickups had entered the scene a number of years ago and were getting rave reviews on forums like Offset Guitars. And when I first heard about them, I had to check them out. This is the third guitar that I have tried them in. And as you can hear, this is our standby sound. Even without a guitar plugged in, you have some level of noise coming from the Princeton Reverb amp. So that is your sort of bass noise right now. Okay. But when we plug in the guitar, yes, our center position is basically the same as before, but when we switch to our bridge only position, wow, that is pretty darn quiet. Definitely a gigantic improvement over the original Jazzmaster pickups 60 cycle hum. And when we switch to the neck, same exact thing. Now, the thing that really struck me about these pickups was the fact that they are so close to that original tone that if I were blindfolded or people did not tell me that these were noiseless pickups, they just sound to me like a fantastic and accurate set of vintage style Jazzmaster pickups. Now, I think for this kind of demo, you have to let your ears be the judge. But for me, these are the best that I have heard as far as noiseless Jazzmaster pickups go. So the way that noiseless Jazzmaster pickups are achieved is usually by stacking two single coils on top of the other, one as the primary sound source and the other being reverse wound, reverse polarity to cancel out that noise. Think about the way that humbuckers are noiseless, and that's basically the general idea. Now, the problem with many noiseless Jazzmaster pickups is that when you actually are playing them, you will notice that they might sound a bit duller, maybe a bit lifeless, maybe a bit too hot. And I've tried a number of these, some of them being super expensive. And I won't mention any names because, again, taste is obviously very subjective, and what sounds amazing and spot on vintage to some may sound completely unlike a Jazzmaster to others. And I am in that camp. And that's why with these Brandonwounds, and again, this is not a sponsored video of any type. These are pickups that I have bought with my own money or have been bought by my clients for me to install in their Jazzmasters. These ones are ones that I feel don't really have any compromises with regards to the original Jazzmaster pickup tone. So we are going to be comparing against the legendary Seymour Duncan Antiquity 1 pickups in this FSR traditional 60s Fender Japan Jazzmaster. This one here is an American original 60s Jazzmaster. They are very, very similar guitars with the exception of this one having a nitro finish and obviously the Brandonwound pickups. Anyway, I hope this comparison was helpful for you. The Brandonwounds are undoubtedly my personal favorite. Again, taste is subjective. I'm not necessarily saying that the Brandonwounds are the best, but they are my personal favorite among the options that I have tried. A couple of other ones that I would like to mention are the EMGs, which do require an active circuit be installed in your Jazzmaster. That may not be for everybody. There's also the amazing Kinmans, as well as Lindy Fralin, who makes some fantastic noiseless Jazzmaster pickups. If you want to look further into the subject, I highly suggest that you go visit the Offset Guitars forum. It is a treasure trove of a community, and everybody over there is pretty great with regards to sharing their own honest and personal experiences with the various noiseless Jazzmaster pickups that are available. So I suggest you check that out if you are curious on further opinions on the topic. But otherwise, yeah, so that's my review of the Brandonwound Noiseless Jazzmaster pickups. Shout outs to the folks at Brandonwound for making such a fantastic option for folks. So that about does it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, hit that notification bell to be notified of future videos. And as always, don't forget to follow Totally Wired Guitars for more offset guitars modding tips.